learned a lot about horses from Mr. Slater.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sir David said to me that, I'll give you a couple of horses to train too, so you can have a couple of horses to train, and I did. And I got lucky, he gave me a couple of good horses, and they did well, My first winner in Barbados was a horse called Spend a Penny.
Spend a Penny.
And she went on to run second in the Derby behind a good horse called Ginger Lily.
At Barbados Derby?
Yeah, the Barbados Derby. It was owned by Erling Lord, and Arnold Allen had a filly called Ginger Lily. She was the big favourite, and that day we almost shocked her. Spend a Penny ran second, and so I started from back there. Sir David gave me a chance, and that was great. And then I trained some horses for him, and then I went on then with my father-in-law to be at the time, Nigel Nunez, which was a Jamaican trainer.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked under Nigel as an assistant for a couple of years, and then he went back to Jamaica, and he had a big barn of horses, and he spoke to all of his owners and said, why don't you leave them with Ron, because Ronald knows these horses, and it would be, and all the I was lucky, all the owners did leave the horses in my care, and the rest is history from there. I went on from there to be champion trainer in Barbados for like 10 consecutive years.
At that point, how many horses were there when he left with you?
When he left me, he probably left me about 15.
15.
And then I got other clients as well, right? So I actually had a very big operation.
But how old you was at that time?
At that time, I was in my 30s, mid-30s,
Okay.
The good trainers like Victor Cheeseman, who's the leading trainer in Barbados right now. Victor came through me. Victor worked for me, and Victor, even though he has some respect for me, and I have respect for him too, because we talk when I go back home to Barbados about horses and different things. I might try to, he might ask something, and I'm always willing to help. But Victor does very well. And Liz Dean also worked. She used to run the farm for Sir David, so she had a big hand in good horses too. And it was always a team. And Liz turned out to be she's a very good horsewoman, and she's a very good trainer too. She won lots of races, and her record speaks for itself. So I'm very happy to see Victor and Liz come through the system and do as well as it did.
You guys been around from a very long time, man, and it's good to see that the guys are still sticking into it.
Yes.
And is it being passed on to family, or what happens after?
Well, my son is a trainer.
Yeah, I met
Nigel.
him.
But the thing is, horse racing is something that people will say that they're retiring and they're done with it, and it never lets go. You never get it out of your system, There's jokes around about horse racing. People once it sinks, it's a different world. Once the highs and lows of horse racing is tremendous. When you win a race, the feeling is, and then when you lose one that you thought you should have won, or something happens, it drops you like a cement bag.